Hey, g'day new Mavericks, Ramon here, just out soaking up some vitamin D here. They say, my good friend Mark Bunn actually says that he's a health coach, very prominent health speaker in Australia. He says the greatest amount of vitamin D pours down around midday, so get out for 10-20 minutes and soak up as much as you can and help keep you healthy. So I'm just out here actually at the park at the baseball diamond. I love being in sporting arenas. They kind of give you some energy that you can't find in your office. So what I wanted to speak about today is that being a leader, a CEO, is a very tough job in a lot of ways. It's a lot of responsibilities, a lot of pressure, a lot of influences from a lot of different quarters. And there's actually very few people that are cut out to be leaders and CEOs. Because it requires quite a degree of brain development. I mean, CEOs have to really know the what, the why, the how, and the when, and of pretty much everything in order to make the best decisions, because they are key decision makers that affect the overall performance of a company. So I just wanted to break down 3 things that all leaders and CEOs should be aware of when they're making key decisions, so that they can make the best decision for themselves and those that they lead. So the first one is that any decision that we're making as leaders should really include and encompass the health, wealth, and happiness of ourselves and everyone around us that we affect with a decision. And this is really important because often, we're making decisions that may just be based on monetary gain. And that is important. Obviously, that part of business obviously has to be taken care of, but if it's making wealth and compromising health and happiness, then it's not real wealth and it's going to bite us back at the end of the day. Or if we're just making decisions just purely based on happiness, which is always a good thing, but if it's just short-term happiness, then maybe it's going to compromise our wealth and health. So just keep in mind whenever you're making a decision that you are considering all 3, and you'll find that it's a really holistic decision that's really good for yourself and everyone. Now the second thing, just to interject also, that being a CEO or a leader is a lot like being a pitcher in a baseball game, or being a quarterback in an NFL game, or being a first 5/8 or fly half in a rugby game. They really have a central pivotal role, and what they do, what that key position does, has a huge effect on everyone else. So that's the real analogy and context of being a leader. You do have that pivotal catalyst role in whatever you do. And the second thing that I wanted to touch on in terms of decision-making, key decision-making as a leader, is that to ensure that your decision-making meets 3 things, another 3 things actually, and that it creates more simplicity, not more complexity, that it is coming from a place of creating more unity within yourself, between your team, between those that you serve, your clients, customers, and it's also creating more truthfulness. More truth is coming out, because as you bring more truth out of yourself and out of your team, you'll find that you'll be triumphant long term. Because if untruth or a little bit of half-truth is there, eventually it'll come back and bite you, and it'll actually cause more loss than actual gain in the long run. So having simplicity, unity, and truthfulness is 3 very important aspects of decision making, and ensure that your decision making is creating more of those 3 things. And then the final aspect of decision making that I think is really important is that leaders by nature are conquerors. That they want to conquer something, some marketplace, some territory, but really at the end of the day, it's about really conquering your own mind and emotions, and that's when you really win long term. So conquering mind and emotions is obviously not an easy thing, because emotions and thoughts are so diverse, but ensuring that your decision making is in alignment, meaning that what your mind is thinking and what your heart is feeling, that they're basically one and the same thing, and that you feel unified on that level, then you're not making decisions in a space of conflict, which will always create more conflict outside of you because you haven't really been aligned between what your heart's feeling and what your mind's thinking. So those are 3 things that I think is really important to be aware of as a leader, as a CEO. And the last one I touched on is probably the most important and the basis of the other 2, because when you have conquered your mind and emotions and you have a lot of orderliness and coherence there, then what you'll find is that your decision making is truthful, it is simple, does create simplicity, it is unifying, and it does support the health, wealth, and happiness of everyone. So we're in the process of bringing out something to really support you in that way, to have more mastery and to be able to conquer your mind and emotions. And it's called the New Mavericks CEO Breakthrough Formula, and it's going to go quite deeply into how to really break through and dissolve obstacles which are really have their basis in your own mind and emotions, and being able to conquer your own mind and emotions gives you that ability to dissolve pretty much any obstacles. So look out for that. We look forward to sharing it with you, and if you've got any comments on how to make decision making and be a leader in a better way, leave them below. I'd love to hear about them. Enjoy. Ciao.